The Prasant Bhushan case is definitely of some importance. Previously, there have been High Court judges who have been imprisoned for 6 months. There have been senior attorneys who have been sentenced to 3 months. I'm just speaking of the last 4 years. So there's nothing unusual about contempt convictions against judges or officers of the court. But you see, Prasant Bhushan and his father, they had actually tried to gain political power. On what basis? They said that the courts are useless, and many people in India would agree. They said we need Lokpal. Lok means the people, a people's ombudsman. So essentially, the two Bhushans, Shanti Bhushan, who had actually served as a Union Minister of Law for a brief while, and so you see these two, this dynasty, they were challenging other dynasties. And they were saying, no, we will have a Lokpal, we will have a folk ombudsman. And suppose they had actually got what they wanted, who is to say that father and son and grandson and so forth would not have been those Lokpals? But you see, they never had any appeal to the wider public. And Kejriwal, who was he was actually an income tax officer who'd given up that job and come into politics. Kejriwal got rid of them. He expelled them from the common man movement. And of course, he knew that having a Jokpal or a Lokpal or ombudsman is foolish. It was foolish. Either the executive reforms itself, or adding another layer of bureaucracy won't really help, because in India we've tried that. We've had layers and layers and layers of bureaucracy, and that's never worked. Now, Bhushan, has talked nonsense. He has lied, and he has been found guilty of lying, and actually in a very foolish manner. And he wouldn't, as any British barrister would have done, he hasn't sort of said, "I'm terribly sorry, I was drunk. I was taking Ambien. I was not on my right mind." He didn't do that. So, it remains to be seen whether somebody from the upper class and the top bracket, it remains to be seen whether he will receive any custodial sentence at all. I doubt it. I can't see it happening, because, the court has got all at once. Bhushan was a fool, and he's been slapped down, and that is quite enough. You don't have to put the silly sausage in jail. He's an old man. Well, he's probably fitter than I am, but it's then his father, who's like 95, will turn up and say, "I want to go to jail." You don't want that. You don't want that. What is marvellous about this particular case is that it has been a sort of a lightning rod for everybody who's failed, everybody who is trying to talk about the law in India, but who's failed. This attracts those failures. So, there's this great mass of failure, except it's not a great mass at all. It's this tiny, tiny number of shitheads. And we thought that Muslim advocates would be, or Dalit advocates, or, they're absent. They're absent. In the case of Dalit advocates, for the excellent reason that they're not stupid. In the case of Muslim advocates, it's because they're actually doing quite well. They're making money. So you just have stupid people, elderly people, people who, like Indira Jaisingh, who used to get money from abroad to pretend that they're fighting for democracy. But, she has disgraced herself. She's written something which is not grammatical. And, she's my mother's age. My mother, went to a proper school when, back in the days when you had to write English grammatically. I didn't, because, British had gone. But, it's very sad. It's very, very sad. And then you have Gautam Bhatia. And seriously, I looked up his YouTube video, and I thought that he'd be well spoken. He's not. He sounds like a fucking dehati. And he just repeats nonsense. He says, "Oh, habeas corpus. You must have habeas corpus for a democratic country, innit? Whoa! What the fuck? Habeas corpus came into existence before there was any democracy, 800 years before there was any democracy. The man is an idiot. The man is just stupid. And, the healthy is sort of Pankaj Mishra. And he's not going to come home, is he? Is he, really? Come on. It's Pankaj Mishra. But he might, well, if he marries Kanganaji. I'm sorry, I am starting, oh my God, my own accent is going because I'm thinking about Kanganaji. But that's okay, because I am, I'm very old. I'm very, very fucking old. Well, the truth is that, pretending that the law isn't what it is foolish. And this type of stupidity must stop. The other point is that the great mass of Indian lawyers are going to be from the majority community. It is foolish. It is foolish to say that the men in black will fight against the men in khaki when 80% of both are likely to be related to each other. Communism had a point. It said, get rid of the judiciary, let's have all-powerful executive. And it must be said that Gorbachev, he actually studied law. He did destroy communism, but he didn't mean to. But otherwise, let us now call a moratorium on nonsense about human rights and about the pretense that courts have magical powers. let there be a moratorium on this nonsense.